Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys had a great day today, and I hope you all had a great trading session as well. This is the daily update video for the January 25th session. If you missed that the live stream, I will link that up in the iCards. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, I had a gross loss of $230. You add in the $39 of commissions, and it is a net loss of $269. I took 5 trades today. It shows 10 on the screen because it's counting them for both accounts. But I took 5 trades. I had 1 win, 2 losses, and 2 break evens. So before I get into the charts, let me say this. I said yesterday that I was going to look into making a few adjustments, one of which was going to be to change my overall bias on my chart to match my middle level versus my major level. I tell you guys during the stream that I trade with different levels like support and resistance, of course, but there are 3 levels on my chart that are dynamic, so they're always moving. And there's a minor one, a middle one, and a major one. So I thought that was the change that I was going to make, but it was not. The change that I made was changing my wrinkle size. And that's one of the very reasons why I do not typically show the wrinkles on my screen while I'm trading it. Number one is because I had a feeling that at some point I was going to change the size. And number two, it just kind of it protects me from the giving trading advice, blah, blah, blah kind of thing that you have to watch out for. So I'm going to show you guys all of the trades that were valid today with the change of my wrinkle size. The biggest thing with changing the wrinkle size is that a lot of things that would keep me out of trades on the 20 and 2 chart are no longer keeping me out on the chart size that I use right now, which I'll tell you is a 20 and 1 chart. So the brick size stayed the same, but the threshold was different. So because of the bars painting, literally every tick is a new bar once, a reversal bar paints. In the first 10 minutes of the session, I'm not going to lie, there was a couple that I just missed just because I'm not used to seeing it move that fast. My 20 and 2 charts move fast, but these move fast. But I know that over time, I'm going to get used to that size. Also, the majority of the trades that I did stay out of on the stream, you guys can go back and watch the stream. I called them as they were happening. I just didn't take them because on the 20 and 2 chart, when the price was at certain levels, I could not trade it, but on the 20 and 1 chart, I can. So yeah, let's get into the chart so I can show you. There were literally 17 trades that I could have taken today that I didn't. And all of them were either wins or break evens. And let's talk about it. All right, so this was the first trade that I actually watched this one set up, but it just happened so fast. Again, this was in the first minute of the session. So I was like, ooh, okay, this is a little fast, but I know myself, I can get used to it over time. So that trade was a win. Then we had a not really a counter trend. My overall bias was a buy at this particular time. So this actually was just a trend continuation. And honestly, I do also notice that on the 20 and 1 chart, it correlates with the 5-second chart even better. I can see the trends a little bit better on the new wrinkle size. So here's another trade that would have won very easily. In all of these trades, I actually would have gotten filled on. And I don't really have very many times where my limit order is not filled, even when I'm on the 20 and 2 chart. So the cool thing is because my brick size is the same, I don't have to worry about not getting filled. Now, what I will say though, is that I noticed in the trades that I did get into today that my fill price was almost always better than what it actually should have been. Because I do use limit orders, I don't use market orders. So that is a positive. And I honestly think that it is because I'm using the 1 tick threshold versus the 2 tick threshold. Like there was one of my entries where I think the entry was like a whole point. I guess it was better positioning or whatever, a whole point, like 4 ticks. So that's cool considering I only go for 24. All right, so here is the next trade that would have won. And starting here is when most of these I actually called out on the stream. All right, so this particular trade here, I would have gotten into it. Now, had I stayed in it, I would have lost. But there was, and anytime you see the arrows from here on out, that is just showing you that I had some kind of support or resistance level there. And one thing that I do still have to do, even with changing my Renko size, is if I reach a certain level of support or resistance while I'm in the trade, I need to break even. So this is one of the trades that I definitely would have broken even on. And then right behind that would have been a win. Here is another win here. I mean, just, yeah. And the crazy thing is I did start to write, like I did a little bit of back testing, I guess you could say, when I last night when I changed my Renko size. And all I was doing was literally just back testing Monday and Tuesday. And that was without writing down the trades that happened at the levels that I previously could not trade at. And still way better results than the 20 and 2 chart. So we're probably going to stick to this one. All right, so here is the next trade here. Had I stayed in it, I would have lost. But again, the arrow shows that there was some kind of level there and I would have just broken even. More than likely on this one, I just wouldn't have taken it at all because the entry was too close to the level. So it's kind of pointless. Right behind that is another win. Now this big arrow is only relevant to the actual first trade that I took on the stream. So right behind that win is another one. You can see that the VWAP was able to hold the price up for a bit. Now, this was the first trade that I took on stream. It lost, as you can see, entry here for the sell. The stop is up here. Now, I actually was not supposed to take this particular one because right here was a support level. Okay, had it been a resistance level, I would have been okay to go back towards it. But because it was a certain support level, I was not supposed to get into that trade at all. And that's okay. All right, so right behind it was a break even. And I broke even because right after I got into the buy, the seller pressure came in. I'm glad that I did that because, as you could see, I actually would have lost that particular trade. Right behind it, I got into a sell and won that particular trade. My overall bias was a sell at the time, even though, we have a clear minor uptrend there. So when we came up here and created some divergence, I went ahead and got into the sell there. All right, so the next trade was a loss. Just entered a sell, just continuation, just a regular pullback. That one lost. And then right behind it, I got into a buy and that particular trade broke even. All right, so after 10 o'clock, and you guys know I've been complaining about the 10 to 11 session, and I believe it was last week or maybe the week before. Out of all of the setups that I have, 4 of them I stopped trading after 10 o'clock because I was seeing that was pretty much getting me a lot of losses that were unnecessary. But let me tell you, now after 10 o'clock, it does not look like I have to limit myself anymore, which is great. So here's the first trade after 10 o'clock that would have won. This is a particular setup. It was an overall downtrend. It was just a really huge pullback that created some divergence at my major level back here. Came down, easy win. I don't typically trade at my major level after 10 o'clock, but it looks like now I will be able to. All right, so here's the next trade that happened after 10 o'clock. And this one would have lost. However, again, there was a support or resistance level here. I would have broken even and I would have been fine. Turn around, another win. Like, y'all, I really think I'm going to like this Renko setting. Seriously. There's another win there and another one. So what I'm going to do after probably a little bit later on tonight, this was the 1 bar pullback that I called, that I said, hey, I don't typically take 1 bar pullbacks after 10 o'clock. Let's see what happens. And it worked. And I showed that during the stream. One of the things that I also pointed out on the stream was that when I started going back to looking at the trades on the 20 and 1 chart, a lot of 1 bar pullbacks on the 20 and 2 chart were not actual 1 bar pullbacks on the 20 and 1 chart, but the ones that were valid and most of them won, unless it was a reason why I needed to break even, like on the 1 bar pullback that I took earlier today. So right after that, there was divergence that painted. I said, hey, normally after 10 o'clock, because I can't take the 1 bar pullbacks, I don't take divergence right afterwards, because technically that 1 bar pullback is invalid. But let me just mark it up as it happens. I marked it up as it happened. And I even said that, hey, typically at 11 o'clock, if I am still in a trade, I would break even. You guys can see 10 o'clock is here and never came back to the break even mark. So the trade would have still won. So I am hoping that really by the end of next week that I am used to the new Renko size. I never just give myself a day or two. Like, I know it's going to take repetition, especially because I'm going to get many more setups now, because the trends look the same but slightly different, because every new bar is 1 tick versus 2. So that means that the shorter trends that paint on the 20 and 2 chart, they're much bigger trends on the 20 and 1 chart, and that actually matters. So there's nothing else in my strategy that I had to change or adjust. It's just I get to trade more at levels that I wasn't able to trade at anymore. So let's go ahead and switch gears real quick. I'll show you guys what the accounts are looking like so you all can see that I lost a little bit more on the 25K account, which is the follower, than I did the 50K account. And I have $1,000 left in drawdown on the 25K account and $1,400 left in drawdown on the $50,000 account. The only goal I have for tomorrow is not even to get myself back to positive or break even for the week, but just to have a positive day and just get used to the smaller or new Renko size. That's really the only thing I care about right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Again, I will link up in the iCards the stream from today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning for the last trading session of the week. Have a good night.